Welcome back to the Patrick Reagan Show. We had to work in a Christmas song before the end of the show. Couldn't lead in every segment with summer music the entire hour. Not to belittle the holidays, but I'm already looking for summer. We can move all this to mid-July. I would be a lot more in the Christmas spirit. Well, I need to just take this show on the road, enjoy the warm weather in Marathon Key. Now that would make the holidays jolly. You're listening to the Patrick Reagan Show here on the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network and News Talk 98.7 WOKI. This short segment, I don't know how much of this I'll get to, but we'll get started and see what happens. Have you thought about what we used to have here in America? Why we started out the way we did? The advantage we have as Americans is that there wasn't any government here before us. Sure, they had Native Americans, but there wasn't any federal, state, nor local government. You were free to do as you wished. And amazingly, there wasn't widespread lawlessness and looting and pillaging. Despite what the government tells you, society without a formal government isn't every man for himself. People work together and solve problems quite nicely. Just look at the settlers. No government out in the wild, untamed West, yet people weren't dying from lack of government programs. What we had here in America was absolute freedom because there was no formal government body here. People were free to do whatever they wanted as long as they weren't hurting someone else. And if you did do that, if you did infringe on someone else's rights, they'd let you know about it real quickly. We were free. We had complete freedom and liberty. Now when you talk about that concept, people act like there'd be this huge riot situation. And that's just not the case. People aren't inherently bad. I don't care what the government says. Now, crowds can be bad. Groupthink can be bad. But individuals generally aren't. You get a few bad apples here and there, but that's to be expected. We live on Earth, not in paradise. If all people were bad, always looking to rob and steal and kill, how is it you can sit at a stoplight here in Knoxville and not have someone shoot you just for the heck of it? How come that doesn't happen across the country every time someone drives down the street? Someone else doesn't just take a shot at them for the heck of it. What's to stop them? It isn't the police. They can't be everywhere all the time. It isn't getting caught. If you plan it right, you'd never be caught. So what is it? Could it be that people, in fact, aren't always participating in crime whenever the police aren't around? Oh, say it isn't true. The government says we need more law enforcement. We need more spying. We need more tracking of everyone. Without it, we're all going to be blown up by the terrorists. Well, if that's the case, what's to stop them from doing it right now? The TSA isn't keeping them out. You can walk back and forth across the Mexican border. Just ask the drug runners. They do it all the time, make a good living at it. You don't think it wouldn't be a piece of cake for some terrorists to walk across that same border carrying guns and bombs? And they don't care if they get caught when they're carrying out their deeds. They're going to die in the explosion anyway. So again, what's stopping them? Maybe you're being sold a bill of goods on all this terror garbage. All this government has to be in charge propaganda. If everything was as dangerous out here as we're led to believe, then we'd be seeing a lot more killing and raping and stealing and bombs going off. But we aren't. The evidence isn't there. But getting back to my original point, when our country started, we had freedom and liberty. But then we had people who started saying we can make it better. Later on, these people call themselves progressives. But no matter the label, they're all government knows best people. Both Democrats and Republicans, both liberals and conservatives, they all think we need to progress towards something else. The problem is we're making progress away from where we wanted to be, freedom and liberty. We already had freedom and liberty. If we start limiting that, then we're taking steps away from that initial state. We're making progress toward a lesser goal because it's less freedom and liberty. We were where we wanted to be. That's the unique thing about this country. We had a blank slate. We had everything set, and along came people determined to do things their way, and even more problematic, make you do them that way too. Doesn't matter if you want to or not. They know better, and they use government to make you act in ways they thought were correct. We've started out with freedom and liberty. Unfortunately, we've been walking away from that ever since. We got about a minute left in the show here. I want to thank you again for listening this week. tolerating my slight head cold I have here. If you want more information about us, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show, facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show. Also, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Patrick Riggins Show. All the archive shows are there, along with this show later tonight. Or you can email us, patrickriggins@gmail.com, or drop us a card or letter to WOKI here in Knoxville. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all of our listeners and even our non-listeners as well. We don't leave anyone out here. And remember, liberty begins with you, in your mind. Join me again next Saturday afternoon at 4, where we'll be live and we'll be fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. Thanks for listening and have a great week.
Just released from indenture.
Join us again next week for a solid dose of truth on the Patrick Riggins Show.